For over 200 years, the Cosa Nostra has ruled Sicily with fear, violence, and corruption. This infamous mafia syndicate has shaped Italy's underworld, influencing politics, business, and even law enforcement. But how did this shadowy empire rise? Who were the ruthless men who controlled it? And how did their reign of terror finally begin to collapse? This documentary unveils the dark world of the Sicilian Mafia, exposing its secrets, betrayals, and bloody history. From men of honor to global criminals, we uncover the real stories of the most notorious bosses, including Salvatore Toto Riina, Bernardo Provenzano, and Tommaso Buscetta, who dared to break the code of silence. It's the most infamous criminal syndicate in history. More powerful than the Camorra. More feared than the 'Ndrangheta. And for over a century, the Sicilian Mafia, Cosa Nostra, has built a shadow empire that once controlled entire nations. From its humble beginnings in the 19th century to its violent reign in the 20th, the Cosa Nostra became the blueprint for organized crime worldwide. Extortion, murder, heroin smuggling, nothing was off limits. But power always comes with a price. And when the Mafia declared war on the Italian government, it signed its own death sentence. This is the true story of the Sicilian Mafia's rise and fall, the men who built its empire, the wars that tore it apart, and the brutal lessons it left behind. Chapter 1, The Birth of Cosa Nostra. Years active, 1800s, present the Mafia wasn't born in the slums of America or the neon-lit streets of Las Vegas. It was born here, on the sun-scorched lands of Sicily. By the 19th century, Sicily was a land of lawlessness and corruption. Wealthy landowners relied on private enforcers to protect their estates from thieves and rebels. These enforcers, known as mafiosi, started as mere watchmen, but they quickly became something more. Soon, these protectors turned into oppressors. If you wanted to do business in Sicily, you paid the Mafia. If you didn't, your business burned to the ground. This wasn't just crime. It was a way of life. Chapter 2, The American Connection, The Mafia Goes Global. Years active, 1920s, 1950s. When Sicilian immigrants arrived in the United States, they brought their traditions and their criminal syndicates with them. In cities like New York, Chicago, and Boston, the Mafia found a new goldmine: bootlegging. By the 1930s, the Mafia had taken over Prohibition-era America, forming the Commission, a governing body that united all major crime families. And at the top of this empire stood one name: Lucky Luciano. Luciano transformed the Mafia into a corporate crime empire. Murder was business. Loyalty was law. And betrayal? That meant death. Chapter 3, The Heroin Trade and The Mafia's Golden Age. Years active, 1950s, 1970s. The 1950s brought a new drug and a new fortune: heroin. The Sicilian Mafia controlled the supply routes from Turkey to New York, flooding American streets with pure, uncut heroin. By the 1970s, Cosa Nostra was making billions. But with wealth came ambition. And with ambition came war. Chapter 4, The Corleonesi Wars, the bloodiest era of Cosa Nostra. Years active, 1970s, 1990s. The Mafia was never one unified family. It was an alliance of clans. But in the 1980s, a ruthless faction from Corleone, led by Salvatore Toto Riina, launched a brutal coup. Riina didn't just want power. He wanted total control. And anyone who opposed him, judges, politicians, even fellow mafiosi, was eliminated. But Riina's terror tactics backfired. The government declared all-out war on the Mafia. Chapter 5, The Fall of Cosa Nostra. Years active, 1990s, present. Riina's reign ended in 1993 when he was arrested after 24 years on the run. But it was too late, the Mafia's power was crumbling. The Sicilian Mafia still exists today, but it is a shadow of what it once was. Its power is fractured, its leaders in hiding. And its enemies? Stronger than ever. Lessons from The Mafia's collapse. What can we learn from Cosa Nostra's bloody history? Crime always comes at a cost. Loyalty in the underworld is an illusion. every empire eventually falls. For those who consider joining such a dangerous path, history has already given the final answer: it always ends in betrayal, prison, or death. The Sicilian Mafia was one of the most powerful crime syndicates in history. But no matter how feared, every empire eventually crumbles. Like, comment and subscribe for more real-life crime documentaries on Cartel Collapsed.